Hello, everyone. I am Larisha Font, Executive Director of Black Women Network. And no one cares what you're selling. And here's why. One, no one knows you. Now, think about it. I'm going to set the scene for you. It's your first date, and you have like high hopes for this date, right? And you're excited. You meet the person. And the first thing they say to you is, I think I love you. How about a joint account? How do you feel about, a condo on the lake? What are you going to say? No, I do not know you, right? You're going to tell them to slow down. You might even leave. The reason why no one is buying what you are selling, no one cares about your service, is because honestly, you are laying it on very thick without doing the basics, right? When you go on a first date, it's all about introduction. Introduction does the work for you. It will let someone know whether they're your customer or not, right? It lets them know whether they have some things that they need to ask you about. And it lets you know whether they're your customer or not, because that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs do not think about. Just as much as a customer is vetting you, you need to be vetting them. Your service, your product is important, and whoever is wearing it, buying it, repping it is just as important, right? So have that honeymoon period. Do not skip it. If you try to jump to the money, you're going to look just as off as people who try to jump to marriage when they don't even know your name well, right? So that is number one. Number two, fear of imperfection is causing inaction. This is a huge thing with entrepreneurs. No one cares what you are selling if you won't even get up there and talk because you're like, "Y- hair, it's not perfect. It leans to the left when it wants to. I've heard I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, uh, I've heard crusty, I've heard all kinds of things. Okay. It doesn't matter what you look like, the drawl to your accent, how tall you are, short you are, fat, skinny, whatever. Okay. If you have something to share with the world, there will be someone who your personality, your specific branding, it'll resonate with them. And you will not have to try for attention or whatever from the others. Let those others be where they are. Number three, you're too brand heavy. I know, I know. People say, put your brand everywhere, right? Brand recognition is everything. Yes and no. Okay. Think about going to a Ruth's Chris or even higher end restaurants. You might see their brand on a box, right? It might be on the bag that you're going to carry out. But usually the less expensive the brand, the more branding they have all over everything. Think about, let's say, a Ruth's Chris, because I can't think of another name right now, in comparison to our Mickey D's. Mickey D's has it all over everything. It would be on you if you sat there long enough, right? And so think about that. What do you want to put out? While Ruth's Chris, you really don't see it that much. They don't brand your potatoes and your steak and everything else in YouTube, right? It's about the experience. And that's really what you want to put off in business, right? You are your brand. So even getting to speak to you, that's an experience you're putting out. No one is going to care what you are selling if you're like branded, 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 right? If all of your headers for YouTube look the same because you're trying to push your branding, do this for me. Split test your videos. What that means is people do what's called an A B test. Take the same video content and use that same thing that has no views or maybe has one or two views, and leave that as is, right? Then take the same video, hop on Canva, hop on whatever you use to make your headers and make something, interesting, maybe whimsical. People love babies, they love cats, they love nature scenes. Do something just different, and put that same content up there. Wait a week and then see what you get. I 9 times out of 10, y'all, because I had to do this for myself. You will get more responses when you step outside of yourself. People will learn your brand, but not until they learn you. It's so important to realize that without you, nobody cares that your business is named, I don't know, what have you. Like, no one cares about Ruth's Chris outside of, good food or good times or things like that. They have to still make a reputation, excuse me, based off of their product. If the product was not there, eventually, if anything, their brand would get a bad name. So don't try to skip to the end. Take the process along the way for what it is. I think we're on 4. Number 4, your audience is wrong. Okay. This is probably, I know I said the other one was huge, right? But this is probably one of the biggest issues in entrepreneurship. When people are getting started off, it depresses them. They're like, I know I have a good product. I know that, I'm speaking to the people who should care about this, and I sent it out to all my family and friends. It's like, you sent it out to who? Yes, people say in theory that family and friends should be supporters, but they just may not be your market. And if they aren't, what you doing? You wasting time. You need to do some market research. Who needs your service, right? If everybody in your family is gainfully employed and they sound happy, why are you marketing job placement stuff to them? There might be a place down the street that needs your services. Not only that, but they are going to pay for your services. Hmm? And that's what we need, right? We're not in this business to just, play around and things like that. So, make sure that you are marketing to the correct audience. That will help not only your friends and family from not having to hear every spiel that you come up with, though, some of them may appreciate it and may want to invest. They can tune in while you're talking to other people who it's actually for, right? And on the other end, it'll help you as an entrepreneur to gain confidence because that is what you need in order to be successful anyway. Number 5, you're stingy with the product. All right. Have you ever been somewhere and you were just really anticipating like this grandiose display and you get there and then it's like small, non-existent? Have you ever stood outside in a really long event line and you're like, yes, I'm about to get in there and it's going to be so full and it's going to be so amazing and there's going to be all this stuff going on and you get in there and it's empty, right? Don't be stingy with your products. That especially goes for things like food service. Everybody knows that, right? But also other things too. Your service. If you are someone who is marketing things such as consulting services. Don't be stingy with what you tell people after they've paid you. Okay? It's not the teaser anymore, right? It's not the honeymoon period of they haven't put in their money. So I'm going to give you a little tip, a little nugget here and there, and then I'm going to send you on your way. And then you can buy, $100,000 more of services, and I'll actually tell you something you can use. Mm-mm, that's wrong. And you're going to mess up your brand before you start because believe it or not, people know when they're being starved, even if it's for information. So the best thing that you can do is to, when people are paying you, pay them back. It's a give relationship, especially consulting. You never wanna be in a space, and I'm saying this as a consultant myself, as someone who's helped a lot of people with businesses, where you are withholding, hoping for more money. Let them come to you, right? Um, Bringing it back to the products, if the shirt is nice, I'm gonna come back to the store to shop again, okay? You don't have to worry. You don't have to try to upcharge the shirt and give me one sleeve here and leave the other one off there. That is not gonna profit any of us well, right? And it's gonna get you possibly some complaints, all right? At the least. And lastly, your message delivery is too long or too short. If your message is convoluted, meaning if it has a bunch of different points and a bunch of different things that you do, it's going to be very hard for someone to follow. That's like going to a restaurant and they have too many options, right? Going to a park and rec and they have 100 activities that you could do. It seems at first that that would be amazing, but it's actually intensely overwhelming. If you don't have a favorite sport, you can spend most of your day just looking around at what you could do, and you may not do much of anything. And that is what, excuse me, and that's what happens to your customers when you don't give them one focus, right? On the other side, if your message is too short, I'm I'm Larisha, I do this by. I might not even really know what you do yet. You just told me you consult, but how? There's so many different kinds of consulting. You told me you teach, but how? There's a million grades. You could be a professor. You might not teach in a classroom at all. You might homeschool. You could do all kind of things, right? So whether you're on either end of the spectrum, either come down, simplify your message, or come up and expound on your message so that people understand. An example: Hi, I'm Larisha. I consult in business and improving your business practices. So, whether you're needing to expand, to scale, I can help you do so. Then you start asking them about themselves, and they will be elated that you care about them. Because at the end of the day, what everyone wants, and the reason why you were having trouble selling in the first place, is because it really is not about you, right? Our goods, our services are about the people who we serve. So, with all of that said, hope that you learned something today. Like, share, subscribe. And yeah, I'll put my link tree in the comments. If you have a question, a concern, or something, let me know. Thank you so much, guys. It's been great. I'm Larisha, signing off.